Hey everybody, Ace Trainer Liam here, and it's Tuesday, so welcome back to another episode of Form Fight. Form Fight is a series where we take a look at a Pokemon with more than one form, or a branched evolution, or counterpart Pokemon. We have a look at the differences between the Pokemon in question, and we try and work out which one is the best. And so we can see these Pokemon in action on the battlefield. We also have a Metronome Battle between them, just for a little bit of fun. If you're a fan of Form Fight and you're ready for more, make sure you hit the like button. Let's try and hit, 500 likes on the video? I mean, we nearly did that with Basculin. Maybe we can, thrash it. That'd be cool. Also, hit subscribe if you're new so you never miss an episode. Also, don't forget, link in the description, 10% off G Fuel, code ACE. This is, oh, that's green apple. Oh, it's green apple and it's dead nice. 10% off, code ACE. With all that out of the way, let's have a look at today's challenges. Today on Form Fight, we're going to be comparing the branched evolutions of Snorunt, which are Glalie and Froslass. Now, when any Snorunt reaches level 42, it will naturally evolve into Glalie. However, if you expose a female Snorunt to a Dawnstone, it will evolve into Froslass. But what makes these two Pokemon so different? Let's take a look. According to the Pokedex, Glalie is 1.5 meters tall and weighs 256.5 kilograms. Its Pokedex information says its actual body is a rock that isn't particularly hard. Glalie absorbs moisture from the air and drapes itself in an armor of ice. It freezes its prey and chews them whole. However, it prefers to eat Pokemon like Vanillite that are already frozen. As for Froslass, it's 1.3 meters tall and considerably lighter at 26.6 kilograms. Its Pokedex information says it freezes hikers who have come to climb snowy mountains and carries them back to its home. It only goes after men it thinks are handsome. So, Ace Trainer Liam then. It's said that on nights of terrible blizzards, it comes down to human settlements. If you hear it knocking on your door, do not open it. Appearance-wise, Glalie basically looks like a black rock with cat ears, blue eyes, and exposed teeth, with ice that kind of looks like a hockey mask covering it completely. Froslass has a slender body draped in what looks like a white and blue kimono with an orange ribbon, with a purple face and icy horns, and its head being covered in what almost looks like a white veil. In their shiny forms, Glalie's eyes turn from blue to red, and Froslass's main colours become slightly darker, as well as its ribbon turning from orange to pink. Now let's have a look at their typing, weaknesses, and resistances. Glalie is a pure ice-type Pokemon, which makes it weak to fighting, rock, steel, and fire-type attacks. It resists only ice and has no immunities. As for Froslass, it's a dual-type ice and ghost Pokemon, which makes it weak to rock, ghost, steel, fire, and dark-type moves. Froslass resists poison, bug, and ice-type attacks, and is completely immune to both normal and fighting-type moves. Now let's have a look at the stats and abilities of these branched evolution Pokemon. First up, we have Glalie, who is a decent Pokemon, and that's all you can really say, since all of its stats are the same. They're all base power 80, which is what I would call decent. This is cool, no pun intended, because you can build Glalie whichever way you choose, which gives it a lot of potential and makes it less predictable. Its primary ability is Inner Focus, which prevents Glalie from flinching. This ability's benefits are obvious, since no flinching means no wasted turns, meaning Glalie can continue dealing whatever type of punishment you've asked it to dish out. Its secondary ability is Ice Body, which heals 1/16 of Glalie's HP each turn during Hail. While this helps keep Glalie alive a little bit longer, having to set up Hail or have an ally to do it can be restrictive, and 1/16 each turn doesn't really equal a lifesaver. Its hidden ability is Moody, which increases one random stat by 2 stages each turn. It also reduces another random stat by 1 stage each turn. This can be both a blessing and a curse, since your best stats can become even better, or your weakness can suddenly be buffed, but also you could find your Glalie's best features diminished when it matters most, especially if Moody starts lowering accuracy or evasion. As for Froslass, it's slightly more of a glass cannon than Glalie, having the same attack and special attack, but with increased speed, in favour of slightly reduced HP, defense, and special defense. Its primary ability is Snow Cloak, which increases Froslass's evasion during Hail. Much like Glalie's Ice Body, this does need setting up, which can sometimes be cumbersome, but anything that can help Froslass avoid hits is going to be a worthy bonus. Its hidden ability is Cursed Body, which has a 30% chance of disabling a damaging move used by an opponent on Froslass for 4 turns. This is great for using the fragile Froslass as bait to take an opponent's best moves out of commission, and allowing the rest of your team to capitalize. Although 30% doesn't equal a guarantee, so try not to bank on it. Now it's time for me to decide which of these two branched evolutions of Snorunt I prefer, and I'm leaning towards Glalie. I like using Froslass, I've used it before in the past, and I do like how quick it is and how it still can be like a decent Destiny Bond user, and it can dish out some decent punishment in the right situations, but Moody Glalie just really takes the cake for me. I love moody Pokemon. Like, I love to use moody Pokemon because they're just so ridiculous. Like, 1 minute your attack can be up by 2 stages and you're ready to clean house, but then instantly your accuracy gets shot and you can't even land a hit, or your defense or your special defense gets reduced, so your opponent knocks you out before you can even use that increased attack. It's just so interesting and so cool to see what combinations of raised stats and lowered stats you get lumbered with, and it just makes for a really fun Pokemon. Add on to that the fact that Glalie's stats are all equal, so you can build Glalie whatever way you want. You could make a bulky Glalie, you could make a special attacking Glalie, you could make a speedy Glalie if you wanted, you could make a freaking powerhouse attacking Glalie if you wanted. I mean, power, you know, as good as it can be with base stats of 80, but it's just really fun that it's such an interesting Pokemon to be able to choose your own destiny with. I like that about Glalie, so I'm going to go with Glalie. But of course, it's not just up to me to decide which of these 2 Pokemon I prefer, it's up to you guys to decide which is your favorite. But before you decide, before you make any decision, let's see these Pokemon in action on the battlefield. It's time for the Metronome Battle. Before we get started, I'll point out these Pokemon have max IVs in all stats, 0 EVs in all stats, they're not holding any items, they've got neutral natures. If this was a normal form fight, these Pokemon would have their hidden abilities, but because Froslass has Cursed Body, I don't want that anywhere near a Metronome Battle. Go watch Season 1 of Metromania. Cursed Body is a Metronome Battle ruiner. So what we'll do, since Froslass's only other ability is Hail related, I decided to give Glalie his Hail related ability, which is the Ice Body ability. So basically neither of the abilities are going to matter unless Hail turns up, which it's a Metronome Battle. No one knows if that's going to happen or not. The only advantage or disadvantage any of these Pokemon gets comes from their typing or their base stats. Everything else is all up to the Metronome. Let's go. Here we go, it's Glalie versus Froslass, and don't worry if you wanted Glalie versus Mega Glalie, you will get that next Tuesday on Form Fight, but right now it's all about Glalie versus Froslass, and that wonderful, so much different than the original shiny Glalie entering the battlefield. Froslass, of course, the faster Pokemon, is going to start things off for its team. Starts off with a same type attack bonus Hex. Now that's a great play right there. Decent chunk of damage from the get-go. What will the shiny Froslass follow up with here? It's going to go for a Sing, and it's going to have a little sing-song and put shiny Glalie to sleep. So good night, shiny Glalie. You were asleep on the first turn. Fast asleep, in fact. You poor thing. So advantage Froslass at the moment. What will regular Glalie do in retaliation? What's it going to respond with? Going to go for Water Spout, which is a great play, especially at full HP. I'm pretty sure Water Spout is stronger at full HP. Pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. Decent chunk of damage to each of the Froslass there. So that was a fantastic play by the Glalie, even in a little bit of jeopardy there. Leaf Tornado coming out from the regular Froslass onto the shiny Glalie, who is a sitting duck right now while it's asleep. Over to shiny Froslass. What will it do? It's going to go for Dizzy Punch on the shiny Glalie as well. They're doubling into shiny Glalie. They're trying to make it just basically 2 against 1 in this situation. Mega Drain coming out from the regular Glalie onto the regular Froslass for a little bit of HP restoring. Of course, Glalie very lucky that its stats are even across the board there. Shiny Glalie wakes up, and what's it going to go for here? First turn of the battle for this Pokemon. Hyper Beam. Of course, it doesn't affect the Ghost-type Froslass. Froslass obviously has the advantage of having 2 very common immunities in fighting and normal. Here's shiny Froslass with Pound. Speaking of normal type moves, it's not going to do a great deal of damage to Glalie, but it did just enough. Regular Froslass is going to fire off a Fire Pledge. Oh my word. That's going to do a significant chunk of damage there, ripping into the regular Glalie. Now, what will shiny Glalie do in retaliation to protect its partner? Goes for Soft Boiled, protecting itself, in fact. So it's going to heal up its HP back up to maximum, in fact, because it's well above 50%. So that's a nice play there. Sees its ally in danger and goes, I better make sure I'm ready to continue. Regular Glalie is going to go for a Vice Grip. Again, doesn't affect Froslass. That's very unfortunate. If this was Mega Glalie, it would have become an Ice-type move and would have hit. So a little interesting little factoid for you there. And here is Sleep Powder from Froslass, putting shiny Glalie back to sleep. Poor shiny Glalie is literally back to the same situation it was in on turn 1. It's at full HP, but it's fast asleep. Shiny Froslass is here and is going to fire back with a Guard Swap. No stat changes have happened, so a bit of a wasted turn there, Froslass. Bit of a slip up there, but don't worry. You know, you're doing okay so far. Shiny Glalie, once again, is fast asleep. So it's just going to sit there for a moment. Over to regular Glalie, who's been absolutely putting in work. Goes for Uproar, though. It's been using a lot of these normal type moves, though. So Uproar won't affect Froslass again, because Froslass is a ghost type, if you hadn't realized that already. Shiny Froslass goes for Refresh. Nothing to be refreshed, mate. So unfortunate for you. Nothing to get rid of. Here is the regular Froslass going for Spatial Rend, pulling out the big guns, my word. Onto that sleeping shiny Glalie. They really want to take it out whilst it's in its sleep. Sleeps completely through it. Space just got rendered, mate. And you're just not bothered. That's great. Regular Glalie is going to go for Surf, which will damage its partner a little bit. It's a bit of a risky play there. But sure, go off. Do what you need to do. Of course, it'll do slightly more damage to the Froslass team because they have slightly lower special defense, but not a great deal. 10 base power. Here's the shiny Froslass going for Sonic Boom, but it's avoided by Glalie. So that was very lucky for the Glalie team. Just missed out on the guaranteed 20 damage. Regular Froslass is going to go for Lick, which is the same type attack bonus move, but doesn't do a lot, but does enough to put regular Glalie in the danger zone as shiny Glalie wakes up and is looking for revenge. Goes for Earthquake. That might knock its own partner out, though. 22 hit points. Oh, dear. This is a bad look for Glalie. I mean, great damage to the Froslass team there, but oh, my word. One Froslass is in the danger zone. The other Froslass is in the yellow. Glalie's not looking so hot itself either. It's in the green, but just barely. Here we see Water Shuriken from regular Froslass. That is going to do one hit. 2 hits there. We're getting a third. Are we getting a fourth? No, just the 3 hits there. But now shiny Glalie is less than half its max HP. Looking very, very tired at this point after all that sleeping. Here's a hyper voice from Froslass. Shiny Froslass, I should say. Bringing shiny Glalie into the danger zone. It's looking dire at this point. It's looking very, very dangerous. Shiny Glalie goes for an Icicle Spear. It's a stab move, but it is resisted by the Froslass team. That's 1 hit, though. It's 2 hits. We're not getting a third. It's only 2 hits there. So Froslass just survives that onslaught. Here comes shiny Froslass. What's he got in mind here? It's going to go for Poison Powder, which is very detrimental. Poor shiny Glalie is now poisoned. It won't be able to be put back to sleep unless it uses Rest now, so it's at least got that to look forward to. But that poison gives it 2 turns. Basically, the next 2 turns bank on this Pokemon. And Taunt comes out from Froslass. Froslass says, you're going to take away my cursed body? Fine, I'll just use Taunt to get rid of Metronome. So shiny Glalie can't move. Can't use Metronome. It will struggle next turn and knock itself out. So the Froslass team have won this unless they completely mess up now, which I don't know how they would. Psywave comes out from shiny Froslass, and that has to be it. Down goes shiny Glalie. They had a great showing, but just that sleep tactic at the start really scuppered them. Well done to the Froslass team. Yeah, you laugh, because that was brilliant. So you've heard what I've got to say, you've seen these Pokemon on the battlefield, now it's time for you to make your decision. Which of these 2 branched evolutions of Snorunt do you prefer? Is it Glalie or is it Froslass? Let me know in the comments below and explain to everybody why your pick is the absolute best. And that's where I'm going to leave this episode of Form Fight. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit like. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. Of course, if you'd like to support the channel like these lovely people down here do, pledge to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/AceTrainerLiam. And for 10% off G Fuel, follow the link in the description, use code ACE. But until next time, I'm AceTrainerLiam. Keep on training.